Good morning, my Teaserking family. How's everybody on this Sunday, August 3rd? So we hit the beginning of the month. Let's watch gold run. Um, all right, so many different subjects today. Hey, David, good morning. There was a thing by our doctor on eye care. So I'm going to show you that video. Supposedly it'll cure our eyes. So interesting. I was in I gave you a quick story. I was getting at the barbecue place for dinner yesterday, and I'm just there by myself, and I just wanted to get chicken. Didn't want Chinese, but I wanted to go out, right? I wanted to get out of the house. And so I go and I'm just watching baseball or whatever. And I hear a lady a couple tables away, but she's facing me she's got diabetes. And so I don't say anything. And then I go and I find our doctor who cures the diabetes. And I walk up to her at the end and says, "Excuse me, I heard you talking about diabetes. I can cure you." And I showed her the video of our doctor. And I didn't try to explain it. I just showed, I said, "Here, this will cure you. Just stop eating sugar," basically. And I think it blew her away. It's like, you don't want to be interfering, or I'm not listening into the conversations, but at a restaurant, you just hear it, right? You hear conversation around you, unless you're in your own conversation, which I wasn't. So I'm listening to her, and and I really wasn't trying to listen in or interfere. But anyway, so she thanked me, and hopefully she'll try it. But it's basically her whole meal she had to throw out because she got like fried perch or something, and fries and whatever else she got. But if you watch that, it just shows you it's a reaction, like you're building up. I can't think of the word, but you're making changes to your body by eating all this sugar and all these carbs, and then your body collects the insulin and it adapts. That's the word. It adapts. But if you stop eating the sugar and you stop eating the carbs, your body will adapt the other way, and you'll get rid of it as long as it's type 2. So hopefully that helped her. If not, I don't know. I don't know who she is. I was just trying to be helpful because that's what I am. Hey, David. Well, they all want more money. They should ask for gold, right? I mean, what are they going to do? Not pay them? I would imagine they're going to pay them. And I would imagine the problem with the player is you only got, 7-8 years of football. Look at Hutchinson. He breaks his leg in 2 places last year. So you only have so many years shelf life in football. Do you really not want to get paid, especially Micah Parsons? So you're getting 15 million, you want 20 million. You're really going to give up 15 million? And that's what the owner's like. I don't care if we win. we're not winning with with Dak Prescott anyway. So the owner understands that, and he's like, "Well, what you gonna do? I'm a billionaire. I don't care. I don't care if we win. He's probably like, you're under contract, so you're gonna play for that contract." And I don't like the players who want to renegotiate. Well, if you suck, are we renegotiating? How about if you're Daniel Jones? Are you giving your money back because you suck? No, but so I don't like that. If you have a contract, I mean, if I were to sign a contract with Ford tomorrow, it won't be a contract. It'll be pay if I get hired, which I hope I will. But you're gonna make 100 grand at Ford. Are you halfway through? I want more money. See you later, because there's a million finance people. Um, Now, how many Micah Parsons are there? Not many, or Hendricksons, but you signed a contract. So when the contract runs out, then you may apply more. They're probably worried about getting injured. But yeah, sure he wants more money, but who doesn't? So I agree with that. But he'll end up signing because he's not going to sit out, because maybe he has 3 or 4 more years left, and he's not going to make $20 million. Well, he'll probably go on ESPN and make $20 million. I don't know why they pay their people so much to do these little talk shows. I guess maybe the audience comes in, but it seems really strange that they would have that many, pay them that many. But, I don't know. But you got to honor your contract, really. And, I understand. That's what I would say. If he wants more, then that's a different story. But I wouldn't trade him. I'd say, fuck that. I'm not trading you. You're going to play, or you can sit out, and I don't care if you sit out. All right. So we'll get to the eye thing in a little bit. Let's look at yesterday's baseball. How did we do? I know we lost the Tiger game under. Schoolball's pitching, and then Wheeler looked pretty good. And then, of course, as soon as they go to the bullpens, it's all over. The Tigers give up, I think it was 7-5. They give up 5 runs. I think Skubal gave up 3 runs. Harper hit a home run off of them. And then Phillies bullpen sucked too. So you're starting to see the minor league pitching in the bullpens. Let's go through the scores and see what happened. Tampa Bay 4, the Dodgers get shut out with all their hitting. Didn't play it. The Cubbies, we had the Cubbies. They lose to Baltimore 4-3. Getting the pitcher probably pitched pretty decent, but they're not hitting. Toronto 4, KC 2. I have KC. I was betting against Max Scherzer, and Max Scherzer pitched a good game, which I thought he would do against the Tigers. So he's starting to pitch. Colorado 8, Pitt 5. I had Pitt. I'm starting off really good, aren't I? Now this is Paul Skeens. So how are they getting 8 runs off of him? They're not. Let's go into the box score here. Again, this doesn't work all the time. We hope it does. Pittsburgh had a 4-0 lead into the 6th inning, and in the bottom of the 6th, Colorado scores 6 runs. So who's pitching the 6th inning? So Skeens pitched 5 innings, so he didn't get anybody out in the 6th. 5 hits, I don't know, all in the 6th, gives up 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, and 2 walks. Very un-Skeens-like. Then Ashcraft comes in, pitches the 6th and the 7th. 5 hits, 3 runs. Now he's got a 2.90 ERA. Skeens with the 2.0 ERA. You're not expecting him to give up 4 runs, and basically was all in the 6th inning. Austin Comer, 5 innings with his 6 ERA, gives up 5 hits and 4 runs. So he went accordingly, but the problem was then they went to the bullpen with a 2.7, a 4.0, a 3.55, a 5, and a 3, and basically only gave up 1 run in the 9th inning. So how can you explain Skeens with a 1.9 ERA gives up 4 runs and basically in the 6th inning? Because it's going into the sixth, I mean, it's 4-0 Pitt. They should win the game 4-0 or, so 6 runs for Colorado. So it happens. I mean, this is the problem with baseball. Skeins there. Real D, hello. How are you today? TK, do you see the Raiders being a playoff team? Well, it's hard because of the division. They've got Kansas City, Denver, and San Diego in their division, who are all playoff teams. So that's 6 games you're going to have against very high, good teams, plus whoever else they play outside of their division. So if KC makes the playoffs and Denver and San Diego, so all 3 should, that would knock Oakland out anyway. So can Oakland, they can probably steal a game against KC. They can probably steal a game against San Diego, maybe against Denver. We'll see. I mean, they could. The key's Gentry. All of a sudden, you got Brock Bowers and Gentry and a Notre Dame tight end. Brock Bowers more of a slot receiver. Caught 120 passes, and now he's got Geno Smith, who's an average quarterback. You got Coach Pete. You got Max Crosby, and they've added a few defensive players. So they're going to be – it's going to be Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be, instead of Marshawn Lynch, Gentry, and instead of Russell Wilson, Geno Smith. And they never had really good receivers. Back when they won the Super Bowl, they had, I can't remember the guy's name. They had nobody at wide receiver. He's got Brock Bowers now. So Oakland conceivably can do very well. I think they're a very live dog week 1 against New England, because I think they'll eat up Drake May. Crosby will get after him. The other guy will get after him. And good luck stopping Gentry and Brock Bowers. So I think they're a very live dog. Coach Pete makes them a playoff team, so they could make it. We'll see about injuries. If Herbert gets injured and they go to Trey Lance, they're in trouble. If Bo Nix gets hurt, they're in trouble. If Mahomes gets hurt, we know they're in trouble. So depends on the health. And then if Geno Smith gets hurt, they're in trouble. So I think their quality, the coach gives them, like Sean Payton came in, and now Denver is a playoff team. See what he did? He automatically didn't like the quarterback, gets rid of him, which was Russell Wilson. And then he brings in, he says, he's not going to work on with my offense. It's a Drew Brees offense. He goes to Bo Nix, who's real accurate. And now he's got his quarterback. So I get rid of Russell Wilson. Even though he had to pay, he gets rid of him because he's there to win. But that's what Sean Payton does. So it's going to be tough beating Sean Payton. All of a sudden, you got 4 pretty good coaches in that division, except for Harbaugh's a choke. I was watching the Michigan State game, the drop punt, and I loved it. I had Michigan State, and I won money on that drop punt. I think I had Michigan State -1 or something. And when they didn't get the field goal, I go, I'm fucked. And then they get the fumbled punt where the guy never even, he just flips it up. The guy gets it, runs in for a touchdown. And with there was 9 seconds left in the game. And this is why I don't like Jim Harbaugh. He had a receiver flanked out to the left. There's nobody there. Everybody's in tight, rushing the punter. Why is the receiver out there? Why isn't he calling a timeout? What the hell are you doing? Why are you even punting the ball? You'd have been better off kind of running around and having the quarterback kind of just, run around and throw the ball as far as he can into the, 50 yards into the end zone. Would have taken 9 seconds off the clock, and you wouldn't have had to worry about a punt or a block punt. This is where I question Harbaugh. He did it twice against the Giants when the Giants beat New England in the Super Bowl. Should have been the Niners. They had the lead, and they're getting the ball on a punt, and the guy fumbles the punt for the second time in the game. His punt returner fumbled twice in the game. With the game on the line, why is he there? That I thought was ridiculous. That's what Harbaugh lacks, is the understanding of the feel of the play of what's going on, right? I can't think of the term, but he doesn't get the moment of the game. I got 9 seconds. I can run back. I can run back 30 yards. They had the ball at the 40. I could run back 30 yards and throw the ball as far as I can. Is going to take 9 seconds off the clock. And as long as it's incomplete, it won't matter. At worst case, you give them a Hail Mary with 1 second left. And they weren't completing anything anyway, so that was going to work. So again, he's not thinking, oh, well, we're going to punt. And we'll have 2 guys flanked out. We'll have it normal. I mean, he doesn't know how to think. And he's lost 3 big games like that. So I just question his how intelligent Harbaugh is. I'm not sure he's a good coach. Even when they won, it was mostly running the ball, and when they beat Washington, it was 4 long runs and the good defense. So maybe he coaches defense, maybe not. I'm not sure. You'd think he's a good quarterback, and he would be able to get quarterbacks better, but he doesn't do that. Anyway, so could the Raiders be a playoff team? Yes. Are they a playoff team? Not yet in that division if everybody stays healthy. They can't beat KC, and they can't beat Denver or San Diego. It's just the nature. And now if they were in the South with Indy, Houston, Tennessee, and Jacksonville, yeah, they'd win that division. They could give Buffalo a run for their money. I'm glad they're not in the Central with Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Baltimore. That would be a problem. But yeah, they're in a very tough division. But they'll be a much better team. Coach Pete will see to it. What does he do? Brings in Geno Smith, draft Gentry. He's got his Marshawn Lynch. He's got his receiver. All he needs now is his Richard Sherman, which I know they drafted a cornerback. Let's see how good he is. But he'll bring in. Surprised they didn't get Bobby Wagner from Washington. All right, so we're on a roll here, losing our first 4. Detroit 7-5. Skubal gives up 3 runs with his ERA. Zach Wheeler gives up, I think, 5 runs. Again, both ERAs are under 2, but it was fine until once we get into the 7th inning and the 8th inning. It was a mess. So 7-5 Detroit with Skubal. I mean, you just. Okay. I heard one guy on the radio, oh, I bet the over because the bullpens are bad. And I'm going, what an idiot. You can't bet the game over with Skubal and Wheeler. Both pitchers are 2 ERAs. The problem is the managers taking Skubal and Wheeler out when you don't have anything. That takes me back to the Tigers blowing the World Series in the 2013 or 15 or whatever, when they had Scherzer and Price and Verlander, and they're shutting out Boston into the 8th inning in all 3 of the games. The guy goes to the bullpen, and the guy blows the save in all 3 of the games, and you're like, just let them finish. What are you doing pulling them for a reliever who sucks? So again, these managers are just stupid. Oh, it's a lefty. I gotta pinch it with a right-handed hitter hitting 120. We'll do that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow, they're just so stupid. All right, Milwaukee 8-2. Hey, I am Milwaukee. There's a W. I got the Yankees over 8. They lose 2-0 to Miami. Wow. I played the Mets because the Niners were on a big losing streak. Oh, and they won 12-6. All right. We got Oakland. Let's see. Texas beats Seattle 6-4. Cleveland beats Minnie 5-4. Boston beats Houston 7-3. Arizona beats Oakland 7-2. So Arizona is now. How could they win a game? They were on a 6-game losing streak. They look terrible. Zach Gallen with the 5.48 ERA gives up 2 runs. The White Sox beat California 1-0, and St. Louis beat San Diego 8-5. So terrible day yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losers and 2 winners, 2-7. It's getting very hard because of every day. So here's Skubal. and Wheeler playing a 7-5 game, which before would have been a 2-0 game. But now it's 7-5 because the bullpen sucks. So now we got to start betting the bullpen. Yeah, this is what makes it difficult and fun, right? Now we have to be what's I'm most effective at is being open and hey, this doesn't work. Let's try this. Let's try the streaks. Okay, they work a little. Let's try the pitchers. Okay, yeah, now it is okay. I couldn't decide. I'm betting it under. I liked Philly in the game. They but they did lose. So okay, but we're open minded to a new method and a new thing, and we realize this is very difficult because it's every day. So what you're getting is, I mean, look at me. Friday I was 7-2. Yesterday I was 2-7. Same theory, same streaks, same pitchers. Sometimes it works and sometimes it not. So we realize that, which is why we don't really bet baseball. Very, very tiny, because it's very hard to do. You got some weird money lines. That's why we bet football. It's once a week. We know what we're getting. We got Mahomes for the whole game. Baseball, you got, like Skubal and Wheeler, and then they pull them, and then the bullpen sucks, and that's the problem. So when you got bad bullpens, so even though you got a Skubal or a Scanes, you don't have them the whole game. So you're winning. Pitt's winning 6-0, and then Scanes hiccups in the 7th, and then they put in, and all of a sudden you're giving up 7 runs to Colorado in the 7th inning when you're up 6-0. How could you lose a 6-0 lead? Well, they traded all their relievers away. All right, so 11:35, so 20 minutes. We got Houston and Boston on Roku. Yeah, I got Roku. I'm not watching this game at 11:35. Framber Valdez, 11-4 with a 2.62, and Lucas Giolito, 7-2 with a 3.80. Looks like a good game. I'm scared of going under for fear of the bullpens. So, Valdez is good. I would go Houston here. But very light. Surprising low scoring games in Fenway. The Dodgers at Tampa. This is a 12-10 game, so it's an hour away. Now Tampa beat them 4-0 yesterday. The Dodgers are 165, 8.5. Yoshima Yamamoto 9-7 with the 2.63 against Joe Boyle 1-1 with the 2.82. Let's see, Joe. He's the Notre Dame guy, and gave up 6 runs to the Yankees last time out. I don't know if he's a bullpen, but he never goes. Once he went 5 innings, but mostly it's 2 and 3 innings. So I don't know what he is. Let's call him a bullpen guy. Kind of a 3-inning bullpen guy. I don't know. The Dodgers didn't hit yesterday against not a great pitcher, so I'm going to pass on this. I don't like it. Milwaukee, Washington. I think we did have Milwaukee yesterday. Logan Henderson 3-0 with a 1.71. Brad Lord 2-5 with a 3.27. Again, they're coming up with these new pitchers. We don't have enough data on them. Logan Henderson from McLean Community College. Community College. He's from Texas. 4th rounder by Milwaukee in 2021. He pitched April and May and hasn't pitched since May, so he's been hurt. 5 innings, gave up 2 runs to Cleveland, and then 1-0. But he's only pitched 4, so we don't have enough information out of the community college guy. So there's nothing I can do. I'm not gonna play this game. KC and Toronto. Toronto 145-8. Seth Lugo 8-5, 303. Chris Bassett 11-5 with a 4.24. Again, you just don't know what Toronto team shows up or Kansas City team. Uh, I do like Seth Lugo. He pitches good in spots. He's not that consistent. But again, we're running into the bullpens. And now with this free agent, with the trade deadline, and like Pittsburgh gave up half their rotation for what, minor leaguers. Wonder what Pitt's doing. I'm going to pass. The Yankees, Miami. Miami wins 2-0 yesterday. Yankees are 115, 7.5. Lewis Gill for the Yankees, 0-0 with an 0-0, and Cabrera 4-5 with a 3.35. How the hell is the Yankees favored with the guy that's never pitched and a 7.5 ERA? So I would probably take Miami if I was going to play it. The 49ers play the JETSs. Again, Montana against Namath. We got the Mets 165 and 8.5. Carson White Wisenhunt 0-0 with the 7.20 ERA. Interesting. Frankie Montez 3-1 with the 5.46. So we got big. Let's go over here. Over 8.5. I mean, you think you could go over in most of these games, but look at the Yankees. Miami was 2-0. The Yankees get shut out by Miami, and it wasn't like they don't really have a good pitcher, so you're wondering what the fuck's going on there. Minnesota and Cleveland. Cleveland won 5-4 yesterday. Cleveland 175-8. Jose Urena 0-0 with the 5.40 against Joey Cantillo 2-1 with the 4.14. Again, I would think it would be an over, but I really hate one guy's 0-0 with the 5.40. So we don't really have enough data on these. So what's happening is the wonderful idiots running baseball, the pitchers keep getting injured, even though they're 5 days in less than 100 pitches, they keep getting injured because they keep trying to spin the ball or throw it harder than they can. Their arm breaks down. And then, so they don't have enough pitchers that are professionals now. Now, most of them are minor leaguers. And that's why you get a lot of this bullshit. And there it is. Imagine if it was 1968 and Bob Gibson had his ERA for the year was like 1.8 or 1.9. It was under 2. You can imagine betting under every game. Bob Gibson under Koufax and Gibson. Total of 4. We're under because they wouldn't pull down. There would not be a bullshit bullpen seeing the field. It would be 9 innings of Koufax, 9 innings of Gibson, 1-0. And we could make a fortune on that. Unfortunately, we don't have that now. Skubal and Wheeler should have been a 1-0 game. And then I think the Tigers are stealing signs again because they hit Wheeler for two home runs with their nothing hitters, and then later they hit a Happy Baez again, hit a home run. So every time he hits, I believe it's a fixed game. Let's go. Baltimore and the Cubs. Baltimore won like 1-0 or 2-1. Brandon Young 0-5 with the 6.63 for Baltimore. Colin Ray 8-5 with the 4.24, which means it's much higher. It used to be a 2 ERA. Now it's a 4.25. That tells me he's been pitching pretty bad to get it from 2 to 4. I'm going to go over on this game because I think both pitchers suck even before we get to the bullpens. So I don't know if anybody has a good bullpen. I'll keep an eye on that. Pittsburgh, Colorado. Now they hit the hell. Skanes was shut out for 6 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings. And then he fell apart in the 7th, blowing a 6-0 lead with Skanes. You can't believe that. Is it real or are they fixing? This is the problem you have in baseball now. Did he fix the game? I mean, it's 6-0, and then all of a sudden 7-6, and they lose. How could he blow a 6-0 lead unless it was a fix? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Oh, now we're going to start hitting skeins. Oh, bullshit, you are. Especially Colorado. Pitt's 1 foot 55 and 11. Mitch Keller 4 and 10 with the 3.69, and Brady Blaylock 1 and 2 with the 7.09. After what I saw, I'm tempted to go over 11 in this game. If you beat Skeins, yeah, I'm going to go over. I just have a gut feeling on this, over 11. I could be dead wrong. But Pitt did get some runs yesterday. Colorado got I think it was 11-7 or something. But my theory is if you hit Skeins, you're going to hit Mitch Keller. Although they really didn't hit Skeins. It was just one inning. But as soon as they pulled on the bullpen, it was T-ball or softball city. Arizona, Oakland. So Arizona broke their streak. Arizona -110 and 10. Edward Rodriguez 3 and 7 with the 5.63, and Jack Perkins 0 and 1 with the 2.75. I don't want to touch this. I would have taken Oakland, but I don't know. Probably an over here. The White Sox in California. California 130 and 9, and Rod Carew will be playing today. Sean Burke 4 and 8 with the 4.17 against Jack Kananowski 3 and 9 with the 5.7. So we got to take the White Sox going against the worst pitcher, can't handle pressure at all, Kananowski. San Diego, St. Louis. San Diego was hot. St. Louis won yesterday. San Diego 180 and 8 today. Andre Palatine 6 and 7 with the 4.62. Dylan Cease, who used to be good, is 3 and 10 with the 4.79. I don't know what, over, under, what looks like an over. Dylan Cease could shut you out. So I can't play this. I don't know. Texas and Seattle. Texas 145, 7.5. Jacob deGrom 10 and 3 with the 2.54. Logan Evans 4 and 4, 4.22. We played this last time. We played deGrom, and I think he lost, but we're going to play him this time because it's deGrom. Texas 2 units. And Detroit Philly is a night game tonight. Philly -185.8. Charlie Morton. Who the fuck is Charlie Morton? 7 and 8 with the 5.42 against Sanchez, 9 and 3 with the 2.55. Who is Charlie Morton? They got him from Baltimore. This guy sucks. I mean, he's a starter that he's been having a hard time going 3 innings. Let's look at his last 5. 3 runs to Toronto, 3 runs to Cleveland, 7 runs to Tampa, 1 run to the Mets, 2 runs to Atlanta, 3 runs to Texas. This is who the Tigers pick up. Wow, this guy sucks. All right, we're going to bet Philly. I don't think Detroit will hit it. We'll go 5 units. We've been good on Philly. We had them Friday night. They won. Tigers playing well. They're starting to hit. Sanchez, is he righty or lefty? He's lefty. The Tigers have a left-handed hitting lineup, so they will have their weaker lineup in tonight because Sanchez is a lefty. 2.55. Philly was starting to hit schoolboy. I looked for Philly to score a lot. I think this is a high-scoring game. It's either Philly wins it 6-1 because the Tigers can't hit Sanchez, or it's a Donnybrook 10-9 game because Philly will hit the hell out of Morton, and they'll figure out how to hit Sanchez. But it's just funny because Detroit, they just, like yesterday, it was Happy Bias hits a triple, and the 2 guys before him, I guess, walked or something on 15 pitches or something. So they're just playing Moneyball. I'll keep following the ball off because I have a 150 batting average and I can't hit, but I can hit fouls. I'll just stick my bat out and foul him off and make the pitcher use his pitches. And so the two guys did that, and they were long, like 9, 10 pitch at bats. I think one was 10 and one was 8. And so the pitcher's already, he's starting to lose focus. His arm's not really tired, but that's what happens. That's Tiger baseball. So when they face good pitching, they can't do that, and they can't hit. Atlanta, since he's suspended, I don't know what that's about. It's only 11:30. All right, so let's go. Houston, 2 units. Frisco, over 8.5, 2 units. Cubs, over 8, 2 units. Colorado, over 11, 2 units. The White Sox, Texas, and then Philly tonight, 5 units. Get revenge for the game yesterday. And I played it under, and it should have been an under game. But the bullpens come in, and that's really the problem here. Even though we're betting Suarez, we know Charlie Martin will go 3 innings, and Philly will have a big lead. It's when Philly goes to the bullpen. Now, if they go to that Johan, whatever, he's good for the 9th inning. So it's the matter of getting Suarez through the 7th, and then just one reliever in the 8th. Preseason football. Let's look at that. All right. So scores and schedule. Let's look at next week's schedule. All right. Preseason week 1. Now, I don't want anybody betting this unless you know a couple of quarterbacks. Let's see. So we start on Thursday. Indy at Baltimore. Who's Baltimore's backup? Because Lamar's not going to play. Indy, we know it's either Jones or Richardson. I doubt Richardson's playing, so you're going to get Daniel Jones, who sucks anyway. He probably couldn't win a game of the Big Ten. He didn't win any games at Duke, I believe. That's why I was so surprised he got drafted. And then he went to the Peyton Manning quarterback camp. That's why they drafted him. So Indy, Baltimore, total of 34.5. The Lions total was 33, and they put up 40-some points, and the Lions didn't score. It was 34-7 San Diego. So maybe we look at totals. If we know of good backup quarterbacks, we can do that. Cincinnati, Philly, this would be a good game. Philly, 1.5, 35.5. Now, Hurts ain't playing. Barkley's not playing. Burrow's not playing. What we don't know is the backup quarterbacks. We'll learn those after this week. We'll see the backups. Total of 35. All these totals are like 33, 34, 35. And I don't know why, because you're getting 4-string defense, so you should be able to score on them. But with no Burrow and no Chase, without them, it's hard to bet Cincinnati over. Their defense sucks. Philly, great defense, but they're not going to be out there. So it becomes 3rd and 4th strings. And if you want to bet 3rd and 4th strings, good luck to you. But I really don't have an answer until we see the quarterbacks. Be careful. Oakland at Seattle. This is interesting. Coach Pete and Geno Smith both were at Seattle. Could be a little incentive here for Oakland, even though it's preseason. Seattle 1.5, 35.5. I doubt we'll see Brock Bowers. We probably won't see Gentry, but it wouldn't be bad to let him at least touch the ball a little bit and get that over with. And probably wouldn't be bad. It would be okay for Geno Smith and Gentry to play the first series and get their feet wet on the new team and the NFL and stuff. Seattle, again, I don't like their starter, Darnell. I don't, we'll have to see who the backup is. And I'm not really worried about the backups week 1. We'll see the box scores, then we'll know it. The only one we know is San Diego with Trey Lance, who the Lions made look really good. I'm more worried that the Lions suck this year and their defense sucks. Again, you can say San Diego, Lance did it against the 4 stringers, but the Lions were playing San Diego's 4 stringers and couldn't score. What does that tell you? All right, so Seattle at Oakland. Oakland could be a live dog in this one because of Coach Pete in Seattle. Maybe a small on Oakland plus 7.5. Cleveland, Carolina. Now, here's where we might bet Cleveland. We know Dylan Gabriel is going to play. Prime Jr., of course, will play. Flacco probably won't, but then Kenny Pickett probably will. So I think you'll see a lot of Gabriel, a lot of Prime Jr. Carolina has nobody, even if Bryce Young played it, he still sucks. I don't know their backup. So I would play this Oakland Cleveland teaser. Oakland getting 7.5. Coach Pete revenge, in Cleveland, where you're going to have the rookies quarterback has got to be better than Carolina's starting quarterback. So you get 8.5 with Cleveland. So there you go, Oakland, Cleveland, our free pick. Detroit goes to Atlanta. Detroit, why are they favored? 1.5, 33.5. Are you going to get Kirk Cousins? Are you going to get Penix? I don't know. Detroit, their defense sucks. I would probably go over 33.5 here. Like I said, I don't know if you'll see Penix. Maybe you'll see him a little bit. He didn't play a lot last year. Kirk Cousins is the backup. I don't know who the third quarterback is. Detroit, I'm not a big fan of golf anyway, but who's their backup? Keenan Allen and my man Hooker, who they don't play. Now they're running Hooker. It's like, hey, if you don't want him to play, trade him. I'm sure a lot of teams would take Hooker. And all of a sudden, the excuse is, well, Tennessee's offense is just a visual. He looks at the receiver when he's open, he throws it. Well, that's what all the quarterbacks do. And in the Lions, it's an anticipation offense where you think the guy's there going to cut across the middle. Oh, you're still waiting until he gets open to throw it. So that's a bunch of bullshit. But I think it's an over because Detroit, they don't have any defense. Atlanta, they're not going to play the kids that they drafted, the kid from Georgia and Tennessee. So their defense is still kind of weak. And I think 33, we go over 27. I think that's a good one. Let me get this down. So we got Oakland plus 7.5, Cleveland plus 8. That's one teaser. We got Detroit over 27.5, and then we'll find another one. Washington, New England, we're not going to see Daniels. We might see Drake May, but he's terrible. New England 1.5, 33.5. This is an easy lock in the regular season. If we were to get this, we would be all over Washington, although they wouldn't be a dog in the game. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's a little hard to call because the backups probably goes over because Washington also doesn't have a good defense, but New England doesn't have an offense. The Giants go to Buffalo. Buffalo 2.5, 36.5. We got Russell Wilson, probably not going to play. Scatterboo could see some action, maybe. Neighbors won't see action. Their defense sucks. Buffalo, I doubt you're going to see Josh Allen, at least the first week. You might see him in the third week because they got the Baltimore game, and they probably want to get ready for that. But who knows? Again, we'll leave it alone. Not sure. Houston and Minnesota. Houston with the good defense. They need a quarterback. Minnesota with the good defense and Justin Jefferson, and they need a quarterback. Is J.J. McCarthy going to play? He should because he hasn't played in the NFL yet. Houston with C.J. Stroud. He needs work, but I doubt he'll play. So it'll be backups. The good defenses probably won't play. So, again, we don't know. Pitt and Jacksonville. Are they going to play Prime Jr. the second, the guy from Colorado, the receiver and the defense? Are they going to play him? They should because he needs work at both spots. I can't believe they'd be stupid enough to play him at both spots. Pitt, Aaron Rodgers. After that, it's a crapshoot. Jacksonville, nobody. Trevor Lawrence, he stinks. They brought in a new coach. I was listening they were saying for coach of the year, they're going to take him because Jacksonville was so bad last year that they should do better. And I'm like, no, Trevor Lawrence is still there. He still sucks. They had a good offensive coach the last few years, and Trevor Lawrence did nothing. Trevor Lawrence is not a good quarterback. So I don't know. I never really understood why he went first. In the Ohio State games, he was terrible. The ACC is always terrible. So, of course, he's going to pad his stats. And then against Ohio State in the playoff games, he sucked. He didn't complete 50% of his passes. He just ran. So he's mobile, but he can't throw. I don't know. I can't take this one. Dallas and the Rams. This should be interesting. The Rams. I can't think of the coach. The coach will get point. He'll try to get some points. Dallas. I don't know who their backups are now. Dak won't play. He might get hurt. And Stafford's not going to play. So they got Dallas as a 2.5-point favorite. I don't know why. Let's go with the Rams and 8.5 here. Our second teaser. These are half unit plays. I don't know how you get the Rams as a home dog, and I don't know how Dallas can possibly be favored. We know Micah Parsons isn't playing. I doubt Dak's playing because he's injured, just getting out of bed. So I don't know. Tennessee and Tampa. Tennessee. Why is Tennessee favored? 1.5, 34.5. Is Cam Ward going to play? Absolutely not. Is the Baker going to play? No. But Tampa's got a really good quarterback in what's his name?